What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Khamzat Chimaev calls for title shot after Adesanya's UFC 287 win. After Israel Adesanya picked up a massive victory over Alex Pereira in the main event of UFC 287, the last stylebender quickly found himself in the sights of streaking two-division contender Khamzat Chimaev. With Chimaev poised for a move to middleweight in his next fight, it's no surprise that he quickly called out the newly crowned champ in a series of tweets. Congratulations, Stylebender. See you soon. Now it's my time. Let's go make it happen, Dana White. Chimaev then followed up his series of tweets with a photo of himself seemingly talking to UFC President Dana White on the phone, fueling speculation about whether or not the promotion is making headway on finalizing details for his next fight. The report heading into fight week for UFC 287 was that Chimaev would likely meet Paulo Costa at some point in the near future. However, with his latest tweet, many are wondering if he'll cut the line and get a crack at Adesanya, given that the champion has cleared out much of the division. Of course, Chimaev has yet to fight anybody ranked at 185 pounds, and as a result, many believe he has yet to earn a crack at the title, no matter how many times he calls for a title shot. From the sounds of things, Adesanya has no intentions of offering Pereira an immediate rematch. During the lead up to the fight, and again during a post-fight press conference after his win, he said he wanted to move on from the rivalry. The champ also explained that he believes Pereira needs to cement his place as the #1 contender before any potential talk of a rematch. In addition, Adesanya notably put the 205-pound division on notice, indicating Pereira will likely move up in weight after the loss. Do you think we'll ever see the two face off inside the octagon for a third time? Leon Edwards takes aim at Jorge Masvidal after UFC 287 loss. Heading into UFC 287, welterweight champion Leon Edwards was eager to see how things played out between his old rival Jorge Masvidal and top-ranked contender Gilbert Burns. With plenty of bad blood between he and the BMF, Edwards has remained eager to settle the score with Masvidal after he famously ate Masvidal's infamous three-piece and a soda combination at UFC London. After the BMF dropped a lopsided decision to Gilbert Burns and announced his retirement, the champion took aim at his longtime rival on Twitter. Bum Jorge fumbled the bag once again. None of them really deserve it. Who should I fight next? As UFC President Dana White reiterated going into fight week, Colby Covington is the next man up at welterweight, and with a targeted summer date in London, it sounds as though it's just a matter of time before a deal is finalized. Of course, Edwards has continued to indicate that he has no intentions of accepting a fight against Colby Covington unless Chaos earns his crack at the belt. After the fight, White stated that Gilbert Burns could be the backup fighter for the upcoming Edwards vs. Covington showdown, which essentially stomped out any remaining doubt of the UFC pivoting and booking a different fight. Israel Adesanya responds to UFC 287 backlash. After Israel Adesanya captured a big win over his longtime rival, Alex Pereira, he did two notable celebrations that were quick to go viral. The first was Pereira's own signature bow and arrow taunt, which included 3 arrows fired into the former two-division Glory kickboxing champ. The second was reminiscent of Jorge Masvidal's play dead taunt on Ben Askren, where the BMF suddenly went stiff and fell to the canvas, mimicking his opponent. The only difference was that Adesanya's was directly aimed at Pereira's son, who was caught on camera crying in the crowd. As the champion revealed in his post-fight press conference, after Pereira knocked him out in Brazil many years ago, his son pretended to be knocked out in front of Adesanya. Although he admitted it may have been petty, he wanted his revenge.
I'm petty, bro. I remember. So the first time he knocked me out in Brazil, his son came into the ring and then started to just lie dead next to me. And I'm like, you f***ing little I'll whoop your ass if your dad don't do it for you. But then, I looked for his kid and I pointed at him and I saw him and I was like, hey, just to remind him.
Despite the taunt to both Pereira and his son, who was crying in the crowd, the two champions shared a heartfelt moment backstage, where they gave one another respect and discussed Adesanya coming to Brazil in the future.
And honestly, you're a great champion. And forever, doesn't matter what anyone says, you're always a champion. You're always a champion. And I always respect you.
Before we continue, make sure you give that like button some love, and be sure to subscribe to the MMA Zone for all of the latest news. Raul Rosas Jr. opens up following first career loss. Although many have predicted that the decision loss suffered by Raul Rosas Jr. at UFC 287 would shake the young prodigy's confidence, he seems to be taking things in stride. Heading into the fight, Rosas Jr. had made it clear that he had aspirations to become a 3-division champion, and if his latest Instagram story is any indication, that likely has not changed, as he seems to be taking his first career loss well. My bad, bros. I didn't have the energy to do what I know or even try. Things happen for a reason, and God knows. My opponent was better tonight. Thank you guys. So far, no word as to when Rosas Jr. may return to action. However, he's continued to keep up a pretty astounding schedule since turning professional in 2021. Rosas Jr. fought 6 times in 2022, going 6-0 during that time, including a win on Dana White's Contender Series, followed by a first-round submission win just 3 months later at UFC 282. With that in mind, Rosas Jr. will likely look to make a quick turnaround, as long as he isn't medically suspended for a significant amount of time. Fortunately, Dana White revealed during the post-fight press conference that none of the fighters on the card were transported to the hospital, a great sign that Rosas Jr. could be back in action this summer. Alex Pereira moving up to light heavyweight? After an action-packed night of fights in Miami, UFC President Dana White spoke to media members at the post-fight press conference to discuss things. Given the fact that Pereira and Adesanya are 1-1 now inside the octagon, many wondered whether the promotion would look to book an immediate rematch between the two to close out the trilogy. As White indicated, the former 2-division Glory kickboxing champ will likely move up and test the waters at 205 pounds, given how much weight he has to cut just to make 185.
Honestly, I think that Pereira probably moves to 205 after this fight. He's a monster, you know. I know that he still had like 2 pounds to cut leading up to, there was like an hour left of the weigh-in, so. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's moving to 205, but I would assume he is. You guys can ask him himself, but it wouldn't surprise me.
So far, there's been no indication yet from Pereira as to what the future may hold. In the statement he released on social media after the knockout, he kept things vague, referencing his journey while thanking fans and his team for their support. In the wake of the loss, it seems as though Pereira has 2 options: either move up to light heavyweight in pursuit of UFC gold once more, or accept a fight with a top contender at 185 pounds. With many top contenders at middleweight being great wrestlers like Robert Whittaker and Marvin Vettori, many have speculated as to a potential fight between Pereira and Jared Cannonier, who is currently ranked number 4 in the division. At the same time, a potential Khamzat Chimaev fight would do massive numbers. But Pereira would likely have to face a wrestling-heavy game plan that may not be ideal if he wants to punch his ticket to another crack at the belt. Who do you want to see Pereira fight next? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Gilbert Burns accuses Jorge Masvidal of greasing. Gilbert Burns has come out with a pretty bold claim against Jorge Masvidal after UFC 287. According to Burns, a 2011 World Jiu-Jitsu champion at 76 kilos, Gamebred felt incredibly slippery inside the octagon, despite the fact that he seemed to take Masvidal down relatively easy. During the post-fight press conference, Burns spoke about the situation, both accusing Masvidal of greasing and explaining how the BMF could have gotten away with it.
100%. I do believe. I know those old tricks that those guys do. You know what they do? They wake up on Sunday and they take the first shower and they pass a lot of lotion on the body. And the lotion goes, like the skin absorbs the lotion. And then you do that. After 3 hours, you do it again. And then after you do it again, then after you do it again. And your body absorbs. Whenever you start sweating a lot, for sure he did that trick. 100% he did. I'm telling you, I'm not, maybe not, 100% he did. He was so slippery.
Given his extensive competitive grappling experience, many have questioned if his claims may have some legitimacy to them. So far, no response yet from the BMF. And now for our breaking news story of the day. We have Jorge Masvidal breaking his silence on the cheating rumors from Gilbert Burns after UFC 287. After Gilbert Burns beat Jorge Masvidal, he had some choice words for him at the post-fight press conference, stating that Masvidal was greasing to make his body slippery, accusing him of using lotion multiple times a day and having his skin absorb it through the week leading up to the fight. This would make Jorge so slippery it would be much harder to take him down, and it wouldn't allow Gilbert to get to certain positions for a finish on the ground. Jorge has finally responded to Gilbert on the MMA Hour. Here's what he had to say.
There was like 3 commissioners backstage. There's numerous people backstage besides USADA. I've never greased. I've never been caught for cheating or anything. Maybe I'm the sweatiest he knows, but I've never greased. I've never put on anything in my life. Maybe he should blame his technique, you know, not being able to do anything but just holding the ground. I've never cheated in my life. You know, the referee was there touching me constantly and breaking us up and moving us around. You're telling me he couldn't feel if I had grease? He knows the difference between that and sweating. I mean, it's whatever, bro. I've never cheated. I'm not about to cheat, you know. I've never even had a point taken away from me in all my 50-something pro fights. So for this guy to try to slander my name on my last one, whatever, bro. It annoys me because I've never put grease or Vaseline or anything. I just go out there and compete, bro. I've never done steroids. I've never missed weight. So I feel I don't have to cheat to beat any of it. So it's just whatever, bro. Let him throw whatever he feels like out there.
What do you think about this? Is Jorge Masvidal telling the truth, or do you think Gilbert might be onto something? Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with MMA news every day. Here are the top comments from yesterday's video. Seeing someone as scary as Alex get knocked out is truly crazy. Even the baddest can get their bell rung. Someone responded with, "Now you see what heavy weight cutting does to you. This middleweight era would be unimaginable without Izzy. It's okay, Pereira fans. He had a good 4 months run holding that belt. Now y'all just have to let it go. Let it go." And those were the top comments from yesterday's video. If you want to be featured on our next video, make sure to leave a comment and don't forget to check out yesterday's video in case you missed it.